Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show, we're talking Packers. Greg Jennings defends Aaron Rodgers by calling out Mike McCarthy. Plus, why Shannon disagrees with NFL legend Joe Montana's comparison of Colin Kaepernick to Tim Tebow. Finally, Floyd Mayweather Sr. took over Conor McGregor's press conference Tuesday. And today, we start the show with Mayweather Sr. on set. Skip, Shannon, let's debate.
Whoa.
Floyd,
you took over that press conference yesterday.
Hey. And I'm going to take it over with him. I'm going to make him whoop his you-know-what.
What did you think of Conor after seeing him yesterday?
I'm telling you right now what's going to happen. This right here is going to be an easy fight. Easy. Easy, and I mean easy. That man talking all that trash right now, what he talking? I know you would. I know you're like.
I'm with him. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you going down too. So I'm telling you about this man McConnor. McConnor is, he keeps talking about, you too light. Mm-hmm. You too light. Okay.
Too little.
Yeah.
Too little.
Yeah. Too little.
Yeah.
And that's what you did.
That's what I think too.
Well, you know what? How in the hell did Floyd beat
Canelo?
Thank you.
Cotto, De La Hoya.
How you beat all these guys, man, you this size? Mm. You know why? Smart. Mm. That's what beat him. The smartness. He's smart.
He is smart. Did he get that from his dad?
Come on, man. Who else?
Floyd has been a pro fighter since '96. He's been boxing probably 35. He's 41. You probably had him boxing when he was 5 or 6 years of age.
Yes, that's he. To tell you the honest truth, I used to take Floyd like this and put his hands up and teach him how to, throw punches, and that's been going on, man, for a lot of years. He was about 11 months then when I was doing all that with him.
So let me ask you this. How do you, because obviously Conor is an MMA, he's not going to throw punches, he's not going to catch punches like a typical boxer. Are you sparring with guys that fought MMA so you can get a sense of how they throw, their stance, their angles in which they're going to use and try to fight in the ring?
I really don't, I'm just telling you the truth because I haven't been with my son, I haven't been with him yet because he was over there in California.
Right.
And I was in Grand Rapids, in my hometown.
Right.
And I was over there having my mother, her birthday.
Right.
So I was over there with my mother, and everything is, everything.
So you don't seem overly worried about this fight.
I'm not worried about it, man. That guy ain't never been in a boxing ring in his life. He gonna get his butt tore up, man.
Mm. Tear him up. Mm. Tear him up. You heard him, Skip.
So
you heard it.
Did you enjoy verbally sparring with him? Did you get a kick out of him yesterday when you're going back and forth? Because he was having fun with it. Did you have fun with it?
Man, that's the enemy, man. That's the enemy. Now, I'm having fun. I ain't having fun. The fun is over. The fun is when it's over.
Mm-hmm. So you realize your son is now going on 41 years of age, and he's been out for more than 2 years. Are you sure he isn't too old to be stepping in with that man at 28?
That's a joke right there. You see him over there on your side?
I don't think he's a joke. I think he can box.
He's a joke blowing smoke with no hope.
You heard it, man.
I like that.
Yeah.
That was clever. That was better than anything Floyd said yesterday.
We're gonna be at the after party. After Floyd Jr. lump him up, we're gonna be at the after party.
Ain't no question.
So
See, because I'm gonna tell you just like this right here. See, Floyd is the man to meet if you want to get beat. He's back. It's amazing. Ain't no jive. Floyd comes alive with moves and grooves and dance and prance. Your fools better recognize who's the man. And I know your fools don't want to fight, even though you came here tonight. But your pocket looking tight, so it's forcing you to fight. You know you're mad, sad, talk a lot of trash. Come tonight, you be flat on your ass. When Floyd busts your jaw, it'll take time to recoup. And when the hit man finish, you be sucking on soup. Your hands can't hit what your eyes can't see. If you keep talking, I make him cut it 3.
3.
We apologize for the last language, but it's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Wait, did you, is that all you? Did you make all that up?
Man,
You should record it.
I make all my stuff up.
Yeah?
I got all kind of poems.
Okay, but you did say, you referred to when your pocket gets tight, and now your son's pocket, according to the IRS, is a little tighter because you owe the IRS a lot of money.
Well, he ain't got nothing to pay the IRS. Conor McGregor.
Not yet.
He ain't got nothing to pay no IRS. So.
Okay, but Floyd owes, according to reports, $22 million to the IRS. So you don't think he's fighting just for the money?
Even if he's fighting for the money, I mean that's a lot of money to fight for. Anybody will fight for it.
Yeah.
He got that money. Tell him he got $22 million in a mattress.
But he do got $22 million on the mattress for real.
For real.
Okay, well, the IRS would like to visit and collect it.
Tell him we're going to give him the money
spend the night.
on August 26th and not before then. And stop harassing us.
All right, and
Stop harassing us?
Quit harassing us.
Yeah.
So go here. Your son got so caught up in the trash talk when the two of them were together on stage that his button got pushed, he got mad, and he finally said, hey, if he wants to fight with 8-ounce gloves or 4-ounce gloves, let's do it. And then afterwards in his solo session, he said, yeah, if he wants to break the rules call obviously at 154 for 10-ounce gloves, he said, I'll break the rules, I'll fight him at 4-ounce gloves. Are you going along with that? Are you good with 4-ounce gloves for this fight? You said it's easy, so why not 4 ounces? For both.
Well, who you talking about? Him being your boy with 4-ounce gloves?
And Floyd with 4-ounce gloves. Both of them wear 4-ounce gloves. Those are UFC gloves.
Whatever gloves they put on, it's okay.
Good.
Because I'm telling you right now, it ain't gonna make no difference because he's the only one gonna be getting hit. So.
Okay, well, that's what everybody says. So you should encourage your son. I'm going to encourage the McGregor people to push for 4-ounce gloves because now both of you say, bring it on because he can't hit him anyway.
Hey, and that you will find out.
Pops, we gonna stick with them 10-ounce gloves.
Oh,
we're not gonna get to the guard, all that stuff. We gonna touch him up with the gloves that we have on.
Okay, is that what we doing?
That's what we doing.
Well, we're doing 10-ounce gloves.
10-ounce gloves, but this is because he's afraid of Conor McGregor.
I ain't afraid of nothing.
He's afraid.
Man,
you heard it.
Look at man. Did you hear me last night? I
watched the whole thing.
I
know you
exactly
did.
what I said. I told him I would beat you know what else.
You said you would. You wanted to box him like today, right?
Today, right now, today. I want him to come here. I want us to find a place today. And he won't be.
Nah, cause we gotta get that big payday, Pops. Don't mess him up. No, we ain't doing nothing until after August 26th.
Okay, I got you. Because look here, like I said, that guy, I was telling him. Look at it. You see it right there?
Mm-hmm. I see it.
You ain't looking at it.
I got it. I saw it before we started.
Put it on him.
Yeah.
Good. You the one that put it on it.
See, he said you put it on him, Skip.
Wait, look how small your son looks up to him.
Man, wait a minute.
Did you see how ripped he is?
Look, man. Yeah. Look, man. First of all, you can't know nothing about boxing talking about them two sides right there. You don't know nothing about boxing.
I know a lot about boxing.
No, you don't.
I've been covering
you don't.
for a long time.
I've been in boxing.
I know you boxed.
I trained that guy right there that you're looking at right there.
I know you did.
All right then.
And by the way, didn't you train briefly a UFC fighter? Do you remember that guy? What was his name? BJ Penn? Briefly? I read that.
Hey, look at man, I done trained all kind of fighters like that. I done trained all kind of boxers. I done made at least 17 fighters.
Okay.
World champions. World
Right.
champions.
So
Not-
are you
not
saying-
no fighters? World champions.
Are you saying Conor McGregor can't box a lick? Because I see him box a lot.
Man, he got a master. Man, he got a master. He got a master that he got to go up against, and that's me. And I'm gonna take care of my business, stay on the case, and run my place.
So it's going to be your strategy that will be implemented by your son, right? On fight night?
Exactly.
And is the strategy going to be run, run, run?
Who give a damn?
Well, I do.
Well, you can give a damn all you want to, but you might not get what you want.
Yeah.
So we're going to lump him up.
No mercy. Before we move into the next topic, I want to bring in Skip and Shannon to tell you about a great offer for our listeners from Saxx Underwear Company.
Guys, you may think all underwear is the same, that quality doesn't matter, but it does. Don't put up with a pair that's uncomfortable. You'll end up throwing it out in a few months. Instead, make the switch to the best, Saxx underwear. These have it all. Comfortable fabrics with a great supportive design that allows you to move freely no matter what you're doing. They'll put your old pairs to shame. Take it from Shannon, a Pro Football Hall of Famer who's an active guy.
Comfort is very important when you work out. You don't want something too snug. You don't want something too loose. You want something that will absorb the moisture, but you feel comfortable in it. And the more comfortable you are when you work out, I believe the longer you will work out. And that's the most important thing. So I am glad I got an opportunity to try Saxx Underwear Company, and they're working great for me.
Outside Magazine just had an article about how Saxx has revolutionized underwear the same way Gore-Tex revolutionized jackets. And it's true. Saxx has taken something we all need and made it better. Quality, support, and comfort. Everything you need. We want you to try Saxx underwear with our special limited time deal. Go to our URL, saxxunderwear.com/undisputed, and you'll get 20% off your first purchase. Pick up a few pairs. That's Saxx with 2 X's, SAXX. Underwear.com/undisputed for 20% off your first purchase.
Thanks, guys. That's saxxunderwear.com/undisputed for 20% off your first purchase. That's Saxx with 2 X's. One more time, that's saxxunderwear.com/undisputed. Now back to the show. No mercy. Floyd Mayweather Sr. is still with us. Skip?
So yesterday, I watched your son say to Conor McGregor's face, "I'm going to knock this B out." And he used a word I won't say on TV.
Good.
And I want to know, do you believe in your heart of hearts that your son can knock him out?
Look here, I'm just gonna tell you this right here. I believe my son can win,
Okay?
and that without a doubt.
So I'm going to interpret that to
Look
mean
at
you
that.
don't think Floyd could knock him out.
I ain't
That's
said-
not Floyd's
I'm
style. That's
not-
not what he does.
Well, you know, ain't going nowhere with that.
Our style is winning. Tell him what our style is.
Thank you, sir.
That's our style.
That's what I was that's what I'm trying to tell him right now.
We winning.
That's it. We're gonna
Do
win.
you realize your son has not actually knocked anybody out, where you dropped him down, not a TKO, not a technical knockout, hasn't knocked anybody out since May 22nd of 1999. What are we in now, 2017? That's a long time ago. So your son does not have knockout power anymore. And this is a bigger man. He's quick-handed. He can play defense too.
I'm so glad that he's big. I'd rather Floyd to fight a bigger guy than a smaller guy.
Yeah?
Yes. So I'm gonna tell you why when it's over.
Okay.
Easy to hit, bigger the target.
Thank you, sir.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, this target is quicker than those big, slow
Man,
targets.
come on,
this is not
man.
Canelo Alvarez that you're up
You
against.
trying to say
here.
Canelo better than
Canelo
Conor
is
McGregor?
slow-footed and
Man.
slow-handed.
Canelo Alvarez will knock Conor McGregor out cold. And I'm telling you what I know.
Well, he would have the punching power to do it. Your son does not have that punching power.
Well, it don't make no difference. My son beat the guy that would beat the guy that we talking about.
Yeah. Made him look bad, made him look slow.
No.
So should I anticipate that on August 26th, you are just going to duck and run and flick and run, jab and run?
Man, we gonna do whatever it takes to win.
Okay.
We gonna feint, pull counter. What's a pull counter? Tell me that.
We're gonna what? I didn't get it.
He said, I didn't get it. Wait a minute. You say you know boxing.
Yeah.
What is a
Maybe I don't know.
Tell me what a pull counter is.
Pull counter. I've never heard that term before. That must be your term. You must have invented that term.
It ain't my term. It's all the fighters' term that something you don't know about.
Okay, teach me.
But I'm not gonna teach you. You on Conor McGregor.
Yeah, he's gonna tell you.
You go over there and tell Conor McGregor what it is, and he don't know what it is.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't know what it is.
I'm pretty sure he do. I'm pretty sure he don't.
So he's going to see a move he's never seen before.
Yep, and that's what he might get hit with.
Pop, now you know a southpaw, they like to feint to their right and then try to throw that overhand left and try to catch you napping. But see, we're gonna keep that right hand.
We're gonna keep that right hand in his face, and the hook coming back right behind it.
Yep.
Skip, don't you love it I love it when a plan come together. Don't you love it when you in there, you drawing that gun, playing that thing together?
Ain't no question, man. Ain't no question.
So I don't think your son has ever faced the punching power that this guy throws with both hands. He is ambidextrous. He'll knock you out either hand.
Hey, look at me. Let me tell you something, man. I'm gonna tell you something right now. You got a whole bunch of guys that's fighters in the class, my son's class, they can punch very well. Shane Mosley can punch very well.
He used to be able to. Yeah.
Well, hey, look here, Cotto can punch well.
Canelo.
And what's the other guy, the tall guy, lean guy, he got killed the most.
Oh, yeah.
Zab Judah?
No. Vernon Forrest.
There you go.
Vernon Forrest. He's from my home. He's from Atlanta. Yeah.
And look at me, just to tell you the truth, my son ain't fought nothing but punches. And guess what? All he fought is punches. Guess what?
Took him down.
Look at it. What is his record right now? Please tell me.
It's 49-1. It's about to be 49.
No. It is 40 right now.
Right now it's 49-0. It's about to be 49-1.
Thank you, sir. That's all I'm telling you.
Because he told you yesterday, he told you to your face, it was your fault. You made a mistake here. That you should have talked your son out of this because he's risking something being out of the fight game for 2 years.
My son did not tell me that.
No, he told you that. Conor told you. It was your fault.
No, you say Conor says my fault. I don't give a damn what Conor say. It ain't nothing. I'm all about me and my son. It ain't got nothing to do with Conor.
Okay.
He better try to find a way to win. That's what you better try to do.
Okay, you should do a little more homework on this man because he is crazy, like in a good way crazy. He is the baddest man on the planet. You cannot, there's no way your son can hurt him. Can't hurt him.
Look, man, look. I already know what my son's gonna do to him. And you know what? I told him, don't we supposed to be doing, what do we supposed to be doing today?
We're supposed to be selling the fight. You know, we hyping it up. But you gonna tell it don't tell it what you're gonna do though.
No, I ain't talking about that.
Okay. What we gonna do?
I'm talking about yesterday. We was in there and I told him, let's find a place tomorrow and me and you do it.
Oh, you want to box Conor?
Oh.
I told him I knocked out of him.
Oh, sorry for our language.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
Knock
man.
the stuff out of him. Yeah. Right?
Hey, August 26th, after that, we're going to go play the slot. You play the slots?
I can, though.
Yeah, because we got to celebrate after we get to the party, because I know Floyd got a party going on.
We're going to celebrate.
Ain't
no question about it.
There are going to be some slots in Floyd's face, you know, that are going to have a little blood coming out of them.
Look at man. That's all.
We going to the party. He going to see Conor in the ER.
It's clear.
He's going to the hospital.
He going to the hospital. So it's clear what you're going to try to do. You're going to try to run for 12 rounds because you can't hurt this man, not with those pillows on your hands, those 10-ounce gloves. And you're going to hope that the judges protect boxing, protect your son, who is the hometown hero, obviously, in Las Vegas. He fuels the economy with these big mega fights. And you're hoping that the judges will award you a victory. And I don't think you're going to get to the judges because I think your son's going down. He's going to get knocked out.
Well, you know, if you want to talk out your head, that's you.
Well,
you ain't talking with your mouth, you're talking with your head.
But am I right about your strategy is clearly you're just going to try to avoid, play defense.
No
offense.
And I can tell you all, see, man, I would be a straight up fool to sit up here and tell you what we're going to do.
We're going to win.
But wait a second. You wouldn't be a fool because you're so confident. You say it's such an easy fight. You should tell me what you're going to do. You should tell that guy what you're going to do to him and then go do it.
Guess what? I told him yesterday, meet me today right here.
You did. And he said, I don't.
He don't want it.
You know what? He thinks he's going to fight the equivalent of you on August 26th because your son is too old.
We'll see about all that.
Huh?
And guess what?
He's going on 41.
I know it. Guess what? And I'm older than that.
You are.
And we'll whoop his ass.
You think so?
I know so.
Are you talking about bare knuckles, like just out in the street?
Any kind of way he wants.
Any kind of way?
Man, look at man. That's the way I learned how to fight.
I know you did.
From the streets.
Okay.
And look here, let me tell you something.
Where do you think he learned how to fight?
Man, I beat him like he stole something.
Do you realize that man just, what was it, 27? 4 years ago, Conor McGregor was still cashing welfare checks in Ireland. He came from the streets too. So don't underestimate how he had to scratch and claw his way up to this moment.
He's still scratching and crawling his way up.
Yeah?
He's still doing the same thing, talking about that suit yesterday. Man, look at man.
You like that suit?
Man, come on, man. Huh? Man, I got more suits, man, than he got stripes on the jacket right there.
He's got stripes.
Yeah. He ain't got no suits though, none real good ones.
Yeah. You know what?
Man, where except that when all the tight suits, man.
Yeah, I told him it was tight. It was too tight, wasn't it?
The suit was tight.
It was even tighter than his suits, and that's hard to beat.
No, don't worry about him.
Yeah, don't worry about me.
Yeah.
We on the same side, Skip.
That's right.
So give me a prediction. We just need just wrap it up. Is it going to go the distance? Is Floyd going to drop him in 7 or 8? You got some Ali in you. Give us a prediction.
Well, look, I don't have the Ali. Well, I'm gonna just tell you, I don't have the Ali of yesteryear. You know, I'm just saying, Ali always been my man, and that's exactly what Floyd's gonna do.
Do what?
The Ali.
He's going to do an Ali on him?
Oh, yes. Oh, believe me.
Like rope-a-dope him?
Oh, no rope-a-dope. See, because look here. You are in trouble. I'm telling him, he's in trouble. And I really wish he was here, man.
And Skip's in trouble for cheering. That's Skip boy. Skip's in trouble for truth.
He's not my boy. I just think he's going to win.
That's Skip.
You think.
I know.
No, you think. I know.
Floyd is too old to be doing this. You know it and I know it. He shouldn't be risking this. Conor told you yesterday, ride off into the sunset at 49-0. Don't risk this against this guy.
I told him, I'm talking about an old man. I told him, come see me tomorrow in one of these little squares over here, and I guarantee you, he won't even be fighting on the 26th.
Yeah, but we don't want to mess up the money. That's why we don't want you to whoop him up.
That's what I'm saying.
The 27th.
We gotta leave it there.
I gotta get him on the 27th.
No mercy.
If you're a NASCAR fan, there's a new podcast for you to subscribe to, Heritage Road, the podcast that drives you down memory lane, takes you under the hood, and gets you behind the wheel of America's favorite racing competition. They talk to the hardworking drivers, crewmen, and fans that make NASCAR possible then and now. From NASCAR royalty Bobby Allison to the broadcasters that brought you racing in homes around the country, they've got all the stories you've probably never heard before. Hosted by the voice of Texas Motor Speedway, Rich Phillips. Brought to you by Busch, the beer that has supported racing since 1979. Subscribe to Heritage Road today for free wherever you listen to podcasts. No mercy. Colin Kaepernick has still not been signed by an NFL team. Former 49er great Joe Montana gave his reasons why Kaepernick hasn't been signed, and he compared him to Tim Tebow. Montana said, you look at Tim Tebow, great guy, and everybody was talking about him, but what it comes down to is 40% completion or even in the low 50s. You can't win in the league with that. You won't be in the league very long. It comes down to his play as much as anything. Everyone thinks it's the stance he took. One of the things you don't look for is distractions in the locker room. You can go back to Bill Walsh, and as soon as there were guys that weren't fitting in what he was looking for, it didn't matter how good you weren't on the team for very long. You have to have people who want the same thing, fighting for the same thing, and willing to put in the time. Shannon, do you agree with Montana?
Hell no. And Skip, you've heard me say it several times. I hate disagreeing with guys that wear gold jackets. But I will not hesitate if I think they're wrong. So he says he's comparing Colin Kaepernick to Tim Tebow. So tell me, when will Colin Kaepernick get an opportunity to try out for a second and a third and a fourth team? When he does that, then I can say, you know what, Joe, you might be right. When will Tim Tebow take a team to 2 conference titles, take a team to a Super Bowl, throw for 300 yards in a Super Bowl game? When will Tim Tebow do that? Oh, he didn't and he won't. So therefore, again, he's not like Tim Tebow. Colin Kaepernick has a completion percentage of 59.5. His completion percentage last year was 58%. Skip, let me tell you a guy that you might know that Colin Kaepernick had a better completion percentage than. Cam Newton. You ever heard of him? He won the MVP. What about Blake Bortles? Now, both of those guys are going to be starting in the National Football League in 2017. Got no problem with that. But don't tell me it's because of Colin Kaepernick can't throw the football. Again, he also says, when you run the ball, that style of play, this league will figure you out. Funny. In a 5-year span, the NFL has figured out Colin Kaepernick, but they can't figure out Josh McCown, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Blaine Gabbert, Mark Sanchez. You're right, the league can't figure those guys out because they're still stealing money. Josh McCown has been on 10 teams, Skip. Almost a third of the NFL franchises Josh McCown has been on, and he's still given an opportunity to start. And he has never, ever, ever taken a team to the playoffs. Neither has Ryan Fitzpatrick. Neither has Blaine Gabbert. The guy that Colin Kaepernick beat out for the job in San Francisco, his backup gets a job in the National Football League before the guy that beat him out for the job. If Colin Kaepernick is such a distraction, the Lynn Eshmont Award is given to the 49er who best exemplifies the inspirational and courageous of play. Not only did they think he played well, they said he was courageous in the stance that he took. That's what his teammates said. Now, we take teammates because, I'm the first to say this, we see a guy every day, Skip. Guys march up to the podium and they can fool reporters. But you can't fool me because I see you every day from 8:30 to 5. And I spend more time with you than you spend with your family. So you can't fool me. Colin Kaepernick can't fool these guys. And let me tell you something else I find very interesting. There's only 5 quarterbacks, Skip, in the National Football League in 2016 had a better touchdown to interception ratio than one Colin Kaepernick. And I'm going to see if you maybe heard a couple of these guys, Skip. One name is Tom Brady. The other guy is Dak Prescott. The other guy is Aaron Rodgers, Matt Ryan, and Derek Carr. All these guys have something in common. They were all in the running for MVP. And Skip, before I turn over to you, I'm going to say this. Joe, I am so glad there were more people in the 1960s that weren't like you, that was of your race. Because if they had been, we would still not have voting rights, the housing acts, and the civil liberties that we enjoy. Because it took people like Joe Montana, Skip, to go down to Selma and to go down to Montgomery and to be in Greensboro and the sit-ins for blacks to all of a sudden to be seen as something more than animals. We still have a long way to go, Skip. We do. We know that. But there were whites that came down there and sacrificed because they thought it was, we in America. Those are American citizens, and they're treated like third class. And they say Colin Kaepernick was a distraction. Well, let me tell you something what Tim Tebow did, even as a backup. Before every game, he would have special needs kids, some of them autistic, some of them developmental challenged. He would have kids that have lost their parents in the military, be it fighting in Afghanistan or Iraq or wherever. He also would have some of the guys that actually fought. Before every game, taking pictures, even when he was a backup. Not one time did anybody say that was a distraction. You know why it wasn't a distraction? Because if you support the cause, it's never a distraction. When you have a problem with the cause that someone is supporting, not only will you say it's a distraction, you'll have a problem with the guy that's doing the cause.
Okay. I agree with every word you just uttered. We've agreed on this before. I don't want to go through chapter and verse of what I think of Colin Kaepernick as a quarterback, as a performer, because it merits him having a starting job over, I don't know, 6 or 8 people who have one right now. That's completely clear to me. In Tebow's case, it's apples to oranges to compare their careers because, remember, Kaepernick did get to take over what was a really good football team when he got thrown into the fire midseason. It was week 11 back in, 2012? That was a 6-2-1 team that was leading the NFC West at that point, and he took it right on up another notch and level into the Super Bowl. And they should have won it. I thought he got robbed on the last throw that he made to Crabtree.
Correct.
Then next year, he had a terrific year. I don't know how he didn't make the Pro Bowl the next year, but he didn't. But anyway, he came within one slightly underthrown throw.
A little outside, it's a touchdown.
Just a little too low, a little too flat, or it's a touchdown of getting back to another Super Bowl. And yet, when I look at what Tebow did, and I'm not even going to put him in the same conversation, but Tebow took over a bad football team that was just reeling. It was dead in the water. It was 1-4 in Denver, you recall.
Yes.
2011.
2011.
And he ignited it and flipped the switch, and all of a sudden they went on a roll, and they won their division and won a home playoff game. And then Tebow got duped into taking a shot with the Jets because Rex Ryan convinced him that he would give him a 50-50 shot of winning the quarterback job, and he never even got a 1% shot at winning it because he never even got a chance to win the quarterback job. Then he goes to Philadelphia, and I thought he played plenty well enough in the preseason to win the job, but now we get to Montana's quotes and his perspective. There is one thing in common here that people don't talk enough about. Remember, just the way Colin is having issues because I think we both agree it's not just his performance, it's his cause, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, same thing with Tim Tebow. You want to know why he didn't get another real shot at a job? Because of what he believes in off the field just as strongly as Colin believes in, and that is his faith. And trust me, it made him a circus of distraction because he wore his religion on his sleeve, and the media waited for the next Jesus quote and the next Tebowing where he would kneel and pray.
Yeah.
That was the distraction. And again, you talked about the kid.
Yes.
But that's what the owner might not have liked, or the GM might not have liked, or definitely the coach might not have liked, because you've been through this before. A lot of coaches that I have covered did not like the God Squatters in the locker room because it could tend to threaten and split the locker room because they're just too religion on sleeve, and they want to start to proselytize and convert. And would you come to church? Would you come to Bible study? You know, you're going to hell. So, whatever. Like it gets completely out of control. And Tebow became way too much of a Tebow sideshow, which is akin to what they feel like Colin has become as a sideshow because he has a cause that is very, very dear, authentically dear to his heart, just the way Tim's is to him.
Correct.
I mean, Tim is legit. This isn't for show.
Right.
This is what he lives, he walks this talk. Okay, so they both have these off-the-field things that they believe so fervently in that they become threats to owner, GM, coach. And I think in both cases it was operating probably much more in Colin's case, but some in Tim's case. Tim isn't as good as Colin, so he couldn't have any room for error over here.
Right.
So religion on sleeve, that's going to end you. You know, you're not going to get that shot. Over here, you got this cause, you're going to stand, kneel, whatever, for the national anthem. Oh, well, wait a second. You weren't quite good enough to overcome that in their eyes. I think he was good enough. I think he's still very valuable on the open market, but apparently the league is to the point of rejecting him.
But Skip, when people say a distract, they make it seem like he's kneeling during the game. Like they call timeout and the coach is trying to talk to him and he's kneeling in protest.
You know, it's just the old school premise that the quarterback has to be the CEO. So you can't have any distraction, especially from the quarterback position, Tim Tebow or Colin Kaepernick, because if you have something else that is splitting your attention from obsession with pro football, with winning Super Bowls, they don't want you. Yeah. Unless you're really, really the cream of the crop good. If you're a top 5, maybe you can overcome this.
But Joe's right. Now, Coach Walsh probably wouldn't have put up with this. But, Skip, that was 30 years ago. Yeah. And you know the way they coach and the way players behave then as compared to now is totally, totally different. Yeah. The coaches had much more control then because, I'm going to release you. You couldn't get, you had no movement. You had to basically do what they say. Now, guys are free to move around, and they have more of a voice. But I disagree strenuously with what Joe Montana's take is on Colin Kaepernick.
No mercy. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers won the Super Bowl after the 2010 season. Linebacker A.J. Hawk was on that team and told the Players Tribune he was surprised his Packers team didn't win more titles. He wrote, "For me, my only regret is that we didn't win multiple Super Bowls during my time in Green Bay." Think about it. When you have Aaron Rodgers, who's the greatest quarterback of all time, you always have a shot at winning it all, and we had a great group of guys around him, too. I played with Brett Favre for 2 years and Aaron Rodgers for 7, and we only won 1 ring. Don't get me wrong, I'll always cherish the Super Bowl ring that I do have, but looking back, I believe we should have won more. We're joined by Fox Sports NFL analyst Greg Jennings, who was on that Super Bowl team in Green Bay. So, Greg, why haven't the Packers won more titles with Rodgers?
You know what? I can't answer that question, why they haven't. But I 100% agree with AJ in his comments. And if you go on to continue reading his comments, he alludes to the fact that the window is still wide open. And I agree with that as well. Anytime you have an Aaron Rodgers under center, anything can happen. You have a chance, especially in that division, which I believe has taken a step back. But focusing on why they haven't won, we always hear defense wins championships. They have a lack of defense.
We're going to tell it then. Talk about you don't know why they haven't won more Super Bowl. Tell the story, Greg.
They haven't been able to put up the stops. The offense has put up the numbers. They haven't been able to stop anybody from putting up the numbers.
Interesting.
When you watch their performance, take you back to the year we went 15-1, right after the Super Bowl year that we won it. The Giants come into Lambeau right before half. Now, there's plays that on offense that we should have definitely made, myself included, that we didn't make. It was in that game, it was a culmination of both offense, defense, and special teams. We just got flat out beat. But before the half, the Giants throw a Hail Mary, catch a Hail Mary touchdown. We go into our own locker room, and I honestly have never seen our locker room look so, like, mind blown. Like, it was almost like we didn't know what just hit us. And so when I look at the Green Bay Packers right now, the only finger points, everything goes on Aaron Rodgers' shoulders. But when you look at his performances, he hasn't shied back. We saw him last year. It wasn't the lack of his arm and his ability and what he was doing. The defense just couldn't put up the stops that the offense needed, the team needed, to where that would propel them to win ball games. So when you look at, again, and Skip, you allude to this all the time, it's about what you've done in the playoffs, his record in the playoffs. And is it great? Absolutely not. Could it be better? Absolutely. But he does have one championship, and from my vantage point, being on that team, like AJ said, is it a regret? It's disappointment for me, but when you have won, and you can't talk to this because you've won multiple, when you've won, there is no regret. There can't be a regret. There can be some letdown, some disappointments, but you've won. So we can look at, should he have won more? Can he win more? Yes, yes, and yes. But at the end of the day, he has a championship. He's an MVP.
If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm gonna say what Greg wouldn't say, because I know he want to go back to Green Bay, he want to keep it all good. But if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm disappointed in A.J. Hawk and that entire defense, because they've given him 2 top 10 defenses. When he won it in 2010, when they had a top 10 defense, what did they do, Skip? What did y'all do? Y'all went to and won the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
Aaron Rodgers, the following year in 2011, was 15-1 with the worst defense in football. A.J. Hawk was on a team on the Green Bay Packers when they lost 5 playoff games. You know what they average giving up, Greg? 36.8 per game. Hold on. They gave up in 2012, the following year, after giving up 37 at home to the Giants, y'all give up 45 to the 49ers. A.J. Hawk was on a defense that led Colin Kaepernick rush for an NFL record by a quarterback, 181 yards. A.J. Hawk. And he's talking about it's a regret. I regret it. I regret that y'all played terrible for all those playoff games, that you're giving up 37 points a game. Don't regret it. You should have dropped your hips. You should have picked your head up and made some plays, A.J. Hawk. You're the reason.
Oh, he's the reason.
That defense. Oh, it's not him.
Interesting.
Hey, I don't fault A.J. Hawk. I fault the head coach. I fault Ted Thompson because he put them sorry you-know-what's out there. That's their fault. Ooh. He gonna talk, I regret it. You giving up 37 points a game. Even last year, Aaron Rodgers, what he supposed to do? The Falcons scored 44. What's he supposed to do in 2009? The Cardinals scored 51. 37 at home, 45. Man, A.J. Hawk need to be ashamed of himself. There's no way I would say anything if I'm giving up 37 points a game and I gotta think about it. He won the MVP in 2011 with 45 touchdowns and 6 picks. 15-1 with the worst defense in the NFL. And he was talking about, how we gonna win when y'all playing like that?
Tell me when you're finished.
I could go ahead, Skip. I know what you're gonna do. And you better not say Aaron Rodgers is to blame for this, Skip. If you do,
I have to sit over here day after day after day and hear about how Aaron Rodgers is the greatest thrower of the football in NFL history, beyond the greatest I ever saw, Dan Marino. Even that great. He is transcendentally. He's transcendentally great. That's what I hear, right?
I use transcendent.
Okay, transcendent. Okay. He is it, right? He's the greatest you've ever seen, right? I'm going to get that reestablished right now. In the 6 games he has lost in the playoffs since the one big catch game that you had that broke through and won Aaron Rodgers his one and only Super Bowl. So he's lost 6 games since then. He hasn't thrown for 300 yards in any of those 6 games. This is beyond Dan Marino. He hasn't once thrown for over 300 yards in any of these games. Wow. And I think, wow. That game against Eli, he threw for 264. But it's a shootout, man. You got to go Tom Brady on Eli Manning. You got to match him. No, it wasn't much of a game. And then you talked about the game at San Francisco, the Kaepernick game. He threw for only 257. You got to match all that rushing yardage. You got to keep up the way Brady keeps up. And then at Lambeau, the cold game, he threw for 177 against Kaepernick. And then at Seattle, this is where he hit bottom. He threw for 178 that day in the NFC Championship game. Torn calf. 178. A QBR of 48 on scale of 0 to 100, which is worst playoff QBR. And he got shredded by the Wisconsin media. All the columnists took him to task because, by his standards, that was an awful game. Then the next year, they lose in overtime, so you got a chance to throw for more yards in overtime. He throws for only 261 and loses a shootout. And then last year at Atlanta, you got to come to play. You got to outgun Matt Ryan. 287. That was his best yardage of all those 6 games. And I even go back to that NFC Championship game that you survived to get to the Super Bowl. Jay Cutler's on the bicycle at halftime. If Jay had played in the second half, you would have been in trouble.
No, he wouldn't.
If he puts up Jay Cutler type, it was Caleb Haney, the third-string quarterback in the second half, and Aaron Rodgers for the whole game throws for 244 with 2 interceptions and no touchdowns. That's not very good, and you survived that game.
Okay.
Now
Keep
listen.
going. Yep.
So here, we talk about overcoming a mediocre defense. Do you realize in Tom Brady's first Super Bowl win, remember against the St. Louis Rams, his defense gave up 427 yards, but somehow Tom Brady won.
How many points?
Carolina.
How many points?
20-17,
Oh,
but
okay.
still 427 yards. Next year against Carolina, 387 yards. Against Philly, 369 yards. And then what happened in the last 2 Super Bowls? The Seattle Seahawks, who had a mediocre offense, are up 24-14 entering the fourth quarter, and they go on to put up almost 400 yards for the game. But what does Tom Brady do? He goes berserk in the fourth quarter and overcomes that. And what happened against the Falcons? They're down 28-3, and he goes berserk. In the 2 fourth quarters and overtime combined of these last 2 Super Bowls, Brady put up 39 points. That's how you win a shootout. But you have to be nearly perfect.
Greg, let me
Go for it. So help me out here.
Okay, I want you to tell me the game, because I listed the games in which the Packers defense gave up 30. So in all those come from behinds, in all those shootouts, tell me the game in which Tom Brady had to get in the shootout with somebody over 30 points.
Well, he did what he had to do.
Because I'll tell you what happened. Now, there was a 30-point game in 2006 where he went to the RCA Dome. I think it was the RCA Dome because it wasn't the field house then. They lost 38-34. Now, A.J. Hawk has been with Aaron Rodgers in 5 playoff games. The 5 losses. Average giving up 37. Tom Brady has played 34 playoff games. Only 3 times they've given up 30-plus points. Only 3. Now, you keep telling me about the shootout. Oh, Atlanta got the shootout.
These are not great New England defenses. The last 2 Super Bowls? Are you kidding me?
They were top scoring defenses.
I will say this, too. When you're talking about the New England defense versus the defenses that we play with, that I play with, the year we won it, we had a great defense. The year after, it took a step back. For me, the issue is kind of two-sided. And I'm just going to flat out say it. If we had a lead, our issue wasn't the defense. Our issue was Mike McCarthy, because he would cuff us as far as continuing. When you watch New England play, when they have a lead, they go for your throat. They don't relax.
They have the best quarterback in football.
They do. They have a great quarterback. They have arguably the best quarterback in football. But they have, no doubt about it, the best head coach in football and probably the best coaching staff in all of football as well.
Well, how about this? In 2014, the Seahawks scored 28 points. The Green Bay Packers, with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in that ball game, was up 12 points. They were up 12 points with 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Not only does Seattle come back and take the lead, Aaron Rodgers have to drive him down the field on a torn calf to get him in field goal range.
Did you see his demeanor during that game when they were in Seattle towards Mike McCarthy? Because of the play calling that was taking place, because they had the lead in all.
Coach.
No.
The quarterback threw for 178 yards.
Absolutely. Should he perform better? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But against that defense was stout. They are always stout. They understand what they need to take away. Aaron understands that. We can slide away here with putting up 19 points. And we had a chance to win that game. And it didn't happen because they stopped propelling forward. They kind of became stagnant. Their offense was non-existent.
So Mike McCarthy has kept Aaron Rodgers from ever cracking the 300-yard mark in any of his 6 playoff losses since the Super Bowl.
I'm not saying that, but he's definitely played a role in it.
How many opportunities are you going to get if you play an offense and the quarterback runs for $180? What does that mean?
Tom Brady would figure that one out.
Skip, he's not going to be on the field.
Want a bet?
No.
Want a bet? Those are long touchdown runs. They're happening like that. It's not like ball control.
No. He had a long touchdown run, but you remember Frank Gore. Oh,
absolutely.
Frank Gore. But Skip, you still look.
Colin had what, 2 like 60, 70 yards?
Skip,
he went crazy.
Skip,
in that game.
I mean, think about it. They give up 51 to the Cardinals, 37 to the Giants, 45. Tom Brady in 34. Think about it. 34 playoff games. The defense has given up 3 30-point games in 16 games.
But how can you explain? You don't defend yourself on this because 6 playoff losses since the Super Bowl, he hasn't cracked 300 yards, and you're telling me he's the greatest passer ever?
And
you can't say that. He's not. He's not. You're disqualified. This is when it matters.
What is Tom Brady's defense giving up?
Giving up too much. They're down 24-14 entering the 4th quarter against a much better defense. Who had the better defense on the field? Seattle or New England 2 years ago? It's Seattle.
Still, and guess what? They still ain't give up 30. They had the MVP in Atlanta, and they still didn't give up 30.
No mercy. ESPN reports shooting guard Kentavious Caldwell-Pope has agreed to a 1-year, $18 million deal with the Lakers. He averaged nearly 14 points a game and 3 rebounds for Detroit last season. So Skip, with Pope, Brook Lopez, and Lonzo now on the team, how high could the Lakers finish in the West?
You know, Shannon Sharpe, I looked hard at this before the show today, and I can make a case just on paper that the Lakers are still the worst team in the West, the absolutely loaded West, because in my book here, I have fighting for the 8th playoff spot. You love Minnesota, but I got them fighting for the 8th spot with Memphis, Utah, and New Orleans, all viable playoff teams. And yet, there's something about this group, because I'm rooting for Lonzo, so this is probably heart over head. There's something I like about the new makeup of the Lakers, with Brook Lopez, who can absolutely score the basketball. Julius Randle can be a beast inside. Brandon Ingram is an emerging star. You can see it in the Summer League before he got hurt, obviously. I like Caldwell-Pope. I'm not saying he's great, but he's pretty good as the shooting guard. And then you got Lonzo orchestrating, igniting the break. He'll have to figure it out. I worry about that they might get off to a slow start, but I think they will catch fire. And coming off the bench with Jordan Clarkson and Deng, Corey Brewer, Nance, and then those 2 kids, Kuzma really impresses me. Josh Hart always impressed me in college. So they have some depth. They have some spirit to them that I like. So I'm just early gut feeling, I think the Lakers are going to be the surprise of the NBA next year and wind up in the 8th spot.
I just don't see how, Skip. I really don't. And like you, I was looking at it, and you look at obviously the Warriors and the Spurs and the Rockets, OKC. You're like, they're not passing them.
No.
But when you look at it, they're not going to be better than Minnesota. They're not going to be better than New Orleans.
Yeah, I don't know about Minnesota's chemistry yet. You're throwing in big new pieces.
Look, Skip, it's like a refrigerator. I can pour all the stuff in there, but if it's stuff you've eaten, you can make it taste good. With this much talent, the Lakers are not going to be better than them. No way. So let's just so last year they were 14th out of 15 teams. Skip, maybe they're better than the Mavericks this year.
Yep.
Maybe the Kings.
Yep.
Okay.
Phoenix, maybe.
Maybe Phoenix. Does Utah take that big of a step back? Does Memphis take that big of a step back?
Maybe.
But even at best case scenario, Skip, if they can win 10 more games this year than they won last year, because they won 26, they were 26 and 56. If they can win 10 more games, I think that's a vast improvement.
Oh,
I don't see how they get better than 10 or 11, Skip. I really don't. I mean, when you look at it, the Nuggets will be better. Portland will be better.
Definitely. Agreed.
OKC is going to be vastly improved.
Yep.
No, I just don't see, Skip. Even with Lonzo and Brook Lopez as a guy that can probably get you 20 and 8.
He can.
Julius Randle will be much improved.
He will.
Because they got guys that can find him on the wing. Brandon Ingram will be great.
Yep.
But, Skip, I just don't. When you look at the stacked West, I just don't see how they get to – I don't see how they get to 40 wins. You think they get to 40 wins?
They probably have to get to 40 wins. But listen, we do this with the NFL every year.
Right.
At this time of year, you say, there's no way so-and-so is missing the playoff. And then they just crash and burn, and you say, why didn't we see that coming? Well, I'm going to see this coming because I believe in Lonzo more than a lot of people do. He's going to ignite this whole group. They're going to have a blast playing with this kid.
No mercy. Thanks for listening, guys. This is the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. We're back again at the same time tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.